All right, thanks for joining. We'll have Lauren Cox, Erica Wheeler, and Derek. Sure, we have some people on the Zoom and some in person, so we'll start with in person, and then for those on the Zoom, just raise your hand in the chat, and we'll call on you afterwards. So those in person, you can just jump in.
Lauren, you're responsible for the LA Daily News.
Hi.
Welcome to LA.
Thank you.
So I'm guessing that this is like the fact that you guys kind of training camps in the middle of the season is beneficial to you.
It's definitely beneficial because when I got here, we didn't really go through a full practice like this because we were in the middle of the games. So he couldn't kill us. So now actually being able to go over plays, play some defense, get some up and down in, it's been really good for me.
What's I guess what have you guys working on? What's especially for you? What's
just a little bit of everything: offense, defense, putting in some new stuff, making sure our defense is even better than it was in the first half. And for me, just kind of learning the system, getting some chemistry with my new teammates.
how about with
I'm sorry.
the opportunity to play with Nessa now?
Yeah, it's been amazing. She is one of the greatest players to ever play. She's a great leader, has a lot of knowledge about the game. So it's been really fun getting to play with her.
Hi, Lauren. I'm
Hi.
Allie with Spectrum Sportsnet. Can you just take us back to, if you will, refresh us when you got the call and just what the process has been like in the break, how good that was for you to just kind of then resettle and open up this stretch?
Yeah, it was crazy. I think it was a Tuesday. I was on my way home back to Texas. And I was about 4 hours from home, and my agent called me and was like, the Sparks want you, but they need you on a plane tonight. So I got home. I had about an hour to unpack my car, pack a few suitcases, and then head to the airport. So it was craziness. And then the next day played in my first game, played a career high in minutes. So it was crazy, but I was just super excited, super grateful for the opportunity.
I guess from those games, the time you spent, you mentioned with your teammates, but then also learning under a guy like Derek Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
What has that been like?
It's been great. You know, it's good to know that he has that experience as a player. He knows how to win championships. So it's been really great just getting to learn from him, learning from all the coaches.
I just think for you, your goals over these final 13?
Just continuing to get better within this organization. There's a lot of new things for me to learn as far as offense, defense, just doing whatever I can, whatever the team needs me to do whenever I get in the game.
Like about your place in this organization, obviously you're coming back this year, like the opportunity that has, how valuable is that?
Yeah, it's really important to me, and I'm trying to make the most of it, putting in good work, working hard, just doing whatever I can to show them what I can do and show them what I bring to the team.
Okay, cool. We'll go to the Zoom. Start with Tiffany Nguyen with the LA Times.
Hi, Lauren. So how did you spend this month off? Did you kind of use that time to study up, try to figure out more of the playbook now that you had a little bit of time to digest, or what did you do basketball wise to get yourself ready for this kind of training camp 2.0 that you were coming back to?
I worked at home with a trainer. It wasn't necessarily going over our plays because I'm the type of person that needs to actually see them on the court and go through that motion. I'm not one to just throw me a playbook and I can memorize all that. I actually need to go through that. So most of that time was just spent on working on my shot, working on inside game, a little bit of ball handling, just trying to work on my overall skills.
You made the best of the situation when you came to the Sparks. Obviously, no practice time. You didn't know the plays. You just go in there and you play a career high in minutes in your first game. But now that you kind of get this training camp session to get your feet wet, what do you hope to show Sparks fans in the second half of this season?
I think the biggest thing is my defense, and I think I showed a little bit of that in the 5 games that I did play before the break. I take defense personally, love to block shots. And I know my offense will start to come as I get more and more comfortable.
Go to Chris DeMello with Nightcast Media.
Hey, Lauren, thanks for joining us today. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about how the team is feeling. Obviously, you guys did not go into the break on the highest of notes, shorthanded, and of course, you know, some really tough opponents in there. Do you kind of see this second half of the season, even with only 13 games, as kind of a clean slate? Is like we could still make a run here and do something to get ourselves into postseason potential?
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone is in really good spirits right now. It's great to have NECA, KT back out on the court with us again, as far as their skill level and also their leadership. So we're all feeling really good and ready to make a run.
Time for two more with Lauren. We'll go to Pat Boylan with the Indiana broadcast.
Hi, Lauren. I'm wondering if there are any specific players with the Sparks that have kind of taken you under their wing or helped you with this transition.
I think it's been a group effort. It's not any one individual. They were all really welcoming when I came to the team, just as far as telling me which way to go on offense, telling me go set this screen here, there, whatever it was. It's just been an overall group effort, and it's made me feel really good, really comfortable. So I appreciate everyone for that.
And then quick follow-up, if you don't mind, have you had much time to interact with Erica Wheeler?
Yeah, I have. Funny story. Erica actually called me the day, and this was completely unrelated. She was just being a good teammate. Called me the morning that I was driving back home to Texas, and just checking on me mentally, seeing if I was all right. And then a few hours later, I get the call from the Sparks. So kind of a cool story there, but she's just been really great leader, great person, and I'm happy to be her teammate.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pat. We'll finish up with Rashawn Haylock with KTLA and Spectrum Sportsnet.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi.
While you were in Indiana, who did you rep against the most in practice? And then who maybe were you closest with, or who helped you kind of get acclimated to the league the most there as well?
I think I went up against Tierra the most. We were the biggest players that we had, so we went against each other a lot in practice. I got really close to Kelsey Mitchell. She's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Great player, great person. Yeah.
Erica, would you probably feel like you want an interview, or
Yeah.
any hints that maybe she was like trying to get you on over here?
So I obviously got to know her a little bit my rookie year when she was with Indiana, but didn't come to the bubble with us. But yeah, she had texted me and then she called me and she was like, I'm just checking up on you. I don't know what the Sparks are going to do, what Fish is going to do, but I just wanted to check in on you, see how you're doing, that kind of thing. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Erica Wheeler will be next.
It's me. Don't worry about it. It's mine. No.
All right, we have Erica Wheeler here. Same thing. We're going to start with our in-person media and then raise your hand for the Zoom, and we'll do Zoom after in-person. So go ahead in person.
Nice to meet you too.
So with your Lauren,
Yeah.
did you recruit her? Are you the general manager making this one?
I'm not. Fish ended up calling me and asking me about her. Asked me did I play with her, and I told her no. I probably did one workout with her, and he asked me my opinion. I said, you know, she's a number 2 draft pick. That alone should give her some fire to know that she got sent home, you know. And after that, he said he was looking at her. And I gave her a call to let her know, kind of like, look, you may have the opportunity to come to LA, you know, take pride in that because LA is a big market. LA is LA, you know. So when I called her and told her, she was just like, yeah, I got a chip on my shoulder to go number 2 and get cut, like that cut me deep. So just for me giving her that call to let her know the heads up, I think that kind of gave her confidence as well.
What do you know about her? What do you like about her? Like, what you like?
The crazy thing is her IQ is very, very high. I didn't know until she was here. She make the right reads. She make the right passes. And surprisingly, she have a really nice jump shot that I underestimated that she kind of proved to me. That's pretty good. You know, I always give her challenges every day and she always stand up to them. So that's the great thing about her.
Challenges like what?
That's between me and her.
Fair, fair. All right.
How you doing?
You know, when you see that you guys are getting that trophy a little bit, you guys are brought to that. So we get some practice. You kind of foresee any, you know, getting reacclimated to each other and think, you know, someday you guys.
I mean, I don't think we're getting reacclimated with each other because even when they're out, they talking to me. We'll walk through things still, you know, when they were out. So just happy to have them on the court. I know how much this means to NECA, and I know how KT feels about her body not being what she wanted to be. So her fighting through that, and I'm seeing her fighting through that. So just happy to have them back. You know, those are my leaders. You know, I've been a leader on the court for the first half. So to have them back is great for me.
Hey, Erica.
How you doing?
It's good to see you in person.
Of course.
When you talk about that, how would you say you changed, your game changed with them out? And how do you make sure you keep that, even though they're going to be back, obviously?
The one thing that KT and NECA said to me, keep that.
Keep that.
Keep that. You know, even when they come back, still keep that mentality to lead, you know, to direct and to be aggressive, you know, going to the basket and making plays and running the team. Yeah. Yeah.
What? Tell me about that. Like, what you watch her play? Is this what you guys saw from her? Is this something different?
It's a different side of NECA because NECA don't show any emotions. You know, she's a person that put everybody before herself. So to see her cry and to break down in front of everybody when she's never really vulnerable, like I take that personal. It makes me want to get in the gym extra early to make sure I'm on point for her. Because I know what that means for her to be back on the court with us. And I know how bad she want to just prove everybody wrong. And I'm with her every step of the way. So for me, I take whatever she's going through to the heart.
I see 4 hands on Zoom, so we'll go through those. We'll go to Chris Camello with Nightcast Media.
Hey, Erica, how are you today?
How you doing, Chris?
Doing good, doing good. Good to see you again, of course. Sorry, I'm not in person, but you know, still, this is good too. Yeah, just kind of talk about having a clean slate. You know, obviously the first half did not end as well as you guys would have hoped. You guys were competitive in some games, but couldn't get the finishing result you wanted. Talk about now getting everybody back, 13 games left to try to put yourself in a position to maybe, you know, bid for a playoff spot.
First off, everybody don't panic. We only 2 games away from being in the playoffs. It's 2 games, 2 wins. So for me, I'm not more so panicking or worried about, oh, we need these 2 games, or no, we have Indiana on the 15th, and that's all we're worrying about. Nobody's jumping ahead or trying to figure out a strategy of how we can get into the playoffs. It's 2 games away. We're not 5 or 6.
Go to Pat Boylan with the Indiana Fever.
Pat.
Hey, Erica, I hope you're well. Are you dealing with any ill effects? What kept?
Pat, yeah.
Your audio's cutting out. You there?
Pat, you got bad service, buddy. Connect to Wi-Fi.
I will go over to Sean Haylock with Spectrum Sportsnet.
Hey, Erica.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing all right. When you having some time to reflect on the first half a little bit, and which areas did you see the most growth from yourself?
Just being a leader, trying to stay composed in tough situations. And also just, stepping up to the plate, knowing the plate is real heavy, still being able to lead, penetrate and put people in the right position and then even score too. So for me, just being a mixture of everything, I think I stepped into that role pretty well. Fish definitely give me the confidence every night to tell me, like, hey, you can be whatever you want to be. So for me, that kind of helped me knowing that he's a point guard and he have that trust in me.
What comes easier for you? Is it the scoring or is it the setting the table?
Just really just setting the table. I feel I can break anybody down, any defender that's in front of me down, just to make the right read, whether it's a pass or whether it's to the basket or whether it's to get a better shot. I just think I got way more comfortable in that area.
Oh, see, Pat, if the audio's fixed, try one more time.
Sorry, poor timing for the internet to go out. Hey, Eric, I hope you're doing well.
Doing well.
How are you doing physically? Are you dealing with any of the effects of what kept you out last year?
No, absolutely not. Went to the doctor. I was good. Haven't been back since, so I'm good.
I know I don't need to tell you how many injuries you guys have dealt with this year. How challenging has that been as one of the few players that has stayed healthy to try to keep everything together on the floor when your roster has looked so different night in, night out?
I mean, my life is adversity. So for me, when it comes, I love it. I'm better under pressure more than anything than being comfortable. So when adversity hits, that makes me just get even tighter. So that's what I've just been doing.
Do you feel like you've settled in here with your new team now that you've gotten to play almost 20 games or so?
Pat, you said settle. I don't never settle, Pat.
Settled in, not settle.
No. I mean, I'm comfortable enough to know that my coaches and my teammates believe me, but it's still work to be done.
Thank you.
Got it.
Thanks. Last one for Eric. I'll go to Michael Matthew with the Good News Network.
Yo, what's up, Eric? How you doing?
Doing good, man. How you?
I'm doing all right. So my question for you, man, is how excited are you, as the point guard, just to have all your weapons back to get the offense exactly where you guys want to get it?
I'm super excited, man. I don't think no team in the league have yet to seen my full squad. So for me, it's super exciting. Everybody's getting back to where we need to be. So on the 15th, we're going to see what it looked like.
Yeah, can't wait.
All right, thank you. Derek Fisher will be next.
We good?
Yep. Thanks.
Man, so you
Good. See you guys in person. It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
All right, media, thanks for joining again. We'll again start with in-person and then raise your hand in the chat for Zoom questions.
Instead of Lauren,
I don't know if she is or
maybe
not.
not. She said that you weren't able to kill them on the first time, after the first time. So it sounds like maybe it's a little harder. this go around.
Yeah, I think it's just hot outside, and the temperature in the building is a little warmer
Yeah.
Than it was back in April and May. But no, we tried to be smart, with NECA progressing back and Christy and Shanae and everybody kind of working their way back in. But I think for Lauren in particular, like, she came in and she got to ease right into the game and didn't have to practice at all, basically. So yeah, I think the experience in a good way has been, different for her, but hopefully it'll, create a greater sense of connection with the purpose of what we're trying to do offensively and defensively. And even though she did a lot of good things already, I hope it increases her chances to do even better coming out of this break.
There's real opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a definite need. I mean, I think even, when we made the decision, prior to the break to bring her in, I think we saw the potential of there being the need in terms of, NECA and Shanae from a health perspective, making sure that the timeline matched up and we didn't just leave our front court entirely empty. But at that time, we still thought, okay, man, Vadiva, and Lauren, okay, that would be a nice, good young front court to pair with NECA and Shanae up front and with Amanda. But now the way things are lining up, there's plenty of opportunity for Lauren. And as a player that, from my years, which are a long time ago, and and even to now, like players always, they may not complain openly and publicly, but they always want opportunity. And it always ends up working out during the course of a season that that opportunity ends up presenting itself. And then the question is, are you ready for it? And I think Lauren's done a good job being ready. And, I think she's, in a position where she can have a good finish to the season for us and for herself.
With Erica, she's one of the biggest things that she's been able to grow this year, especially with Christy. Just what have you seen from her in terms of her on the field as a leader, and then on the court as well? And then how do you think how big will that be for the second half of the season? Essentially,
Yeah, I mean, I think leadership, on a team is huge, and I think every player has that responsibility in different ways. I think for Erica, starting out when you have a team, with NECA and Christy and Shanae and players that are so accomplished and so well respected, it's hard to kind of figure out where do I fit in terms of my voice, my leadership, my presence. And there's a tendency to, be really careful and timid almost at times. So I think even, our teammates, telling her that like, no, we just need you to be you. Like, and that's what we need. We don't need to I'm trying to fit in, Erica Wheeler, like just do you and be you. And I think the injuries and the way our roster, were shifted due to the injuries, like it forced her to have to just be her and go out and compete hard, let everything hang out, make mistakes, bounce back from them. But most importantly, like show her teammates a level of mental and physical toughness, the ability to stay composed and poised, during adverse situations. And, not that she wasn't able to do that before, but I just think she's enjoying the opportunity to do that on a team that still has a chance to accomplish something and make a push to get into the postseason.
Is there anything that surprised you about the way in which she's handled that opportunity and kind of rose to that moment? You know she had that.
No, I think we knew, like, in terms of like physically she had it. It's one of the reasons why we were so excited to be able to have the conversation with her in free agency. But I think it was hard to, we hadn't worked with her before. We hadn't coached her. Like, it's hard to really know who she is and how she carries herself on a daily basis. I think that's what really surprised us more than anything. Like, as passionate and competitive as she is, she's still a very humble and down to earth and everyday person that I think is just enjoyable for all of us to be around. Um, Not that, again, that was surprising. We just didn't know that. You think from interviews and things that you've seen and heard that she's just always the loudest person in the room, always talking, always has something to say, and that's not really who she is at the core. Like, she speaks when she needs to speak, but she also allows other people to have the room to be authentically who they are. And so I think that's a really good leadership quality in her, is that she doesn't have to dominate everything. But her teammates recognize, like, when she does need to dominate and she does need to lead with her voice or her performance, like, everybody's okay with that. And that's a sign of a good leader.
I heard you say it on Monday from an overall team standpoint, and even today, easing back in players, making sure you're not overdoing it. How do you balance that with the urgency of the opportunity you guys have?
Yeah, it's tricky. Like, it really is. I've had to, hold back the desire to, like, really treat this like another training camp and, just get after it from day one, because you're trying to win, on August 15th, and then you're trying to win on August 17th, and not every game, you want to win, but we have to keep in mind that what gives us the best chance to reach our potential this season with this team is, for our team to be healthy. And so that really was always the, like, foundational piece of how do we plan out, practices today, tomorrow, this week, next week, with the idea that, if we get to Sunday, August 15th, and Nneka's not out there, or Chrissy's not out there, or players are not available because we left it here in Glendale, then we wouldn't have a chance anyway. We, again, tricky and delicate, but that's what this year has brought upon us. And we have to adjust and adapt the same way players have to adjust and adapt. And, we try to do the best we can.
Take a few from Zoom. We'll go to Chris Camello with Nightcast Media.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good, Chris. How you doing?
Doing good. Since I wasn't on Monday's call, happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Of course. There are times where teams after a break can really get rolling. And just on the baseball reference, like, there's a team like the New York Yankees who won like 9 out of 11 since the break. When you see, even though you guys struggled to end the first half, do you see like this as a clean slate? Like, now we could really go on a run and really put ourselves in a position to make the playoffs?
Going on a run, I think it starts with one game. Like, you can't really put any kind of stretch of good basketball together without taking care of the next game in front of you. So, we're really only thinking about Sunday and being back at Staples. I think we are excited to be as healthy as we've been since the end of May. That's exciting to think about, the possibilities of what, as a team, we still can accomplish this season. We want to make a push to get into the playoffs and have a chance to compete for a championship like the other, 7 teams will, that have a chance to get in. But the only way to get there is to take care of the business that's in front of us. And, right now that's Indiana. Hopefully we can maintain a level of health, that allows us to put good basketball together over a period of time, not just one game, but over a stretch, this last 6 or 7 weeks of the regular season. So, we're trying not to get too far ahead of ourselves on where this could all end up. We're trying to embrace and enjoy the moment, be fully present in the here and now, and let everything else kind of take care of itself.
Time for two more. We'll go to Michael Matthew with the Good News Network.
Yo, hey, what's up, Coach? My
Right.
question for you is, with so many weapons coming back offensively, will you look for Erica to continue to be aggressive as far as trying to score, or more of a pass first point?
No, I think it's a good question. I think Erica still needs to play the game the same way. I think it can be, good for us to have, multiple offensive options. NECA and Christie, and as Shanae gets back, like those are our three most efficient offensive players. So if the more we get them back on the court, the better off we're going to be. But we don't necessarily need Erica to become passive or overcompensating for having those players back on the court. When there are opportunities there for her to go score and make plays, we need her to do that. And that sets up the ability to make plays for other people anyway, in my opinion. If you're not as great of a threat to score or to touch the paint or get to the rim, people won't react to that penetration anyway. So we need her to go play. And, we trust her ability to read the situation and to know whether it's a pass opportunity or a shot opportunity for herself or for the team.
Last up, we'll go to Rashawn Haylock with Spectrum Sportsnet.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Rashawn.
What was it like for you playing against a former team for the first time, and how does that relate to whatever counsel you may give your players if they seek it, in a similar situation?
Depending on your experience with that former team, it can be emotional in good ways. It could be emotional in not so good ways. And we're all wired differently in terms of what inspires us, what motivates us, what gets us down a little bit. It was awkward, I guess would be the best word to put it. Like you're accustomed to being on one team for several years. And all of a sudden, whether you chose to leave or you got traded, whatever the reasons, you're in a different locker room, you're walking into the building, you're going in a different direction. But you're seeing all of these people that you got to know and that you were close with. And it just feels different. So, you see some of the best players in the world, like they don't always have their best games in those situations. And that's, this is still a human sports business. Like it's not just athletes out there on the court, they're human beings. And there are feelings and emotions involved. So hopefully for us, in those, playing against former teams, whether home or on the road, if as a team, we can do the things that we are capable of doing, that individual player doesn't have to worry about how she plays necessarily. Like, she can just trust that as a team, we're going to go out and do the best things that we can do to have a chance to win.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.